Hello, this is Hamza,
And I am Tayyaba.
and today we are going to tell you everything that you need to know about black holes. So, basically, we will start from some introduction about the universe, then, we will move ahead to what are black holes and how are they created. Furthermore, we will also discuss about the types of black holes, and then, like everything, black holes also have to die. We will discuss how they will die. Last but not least, we will end this session with some frequently asked questions.
13.3 billion years ago, from the primordial cloud of gas and cosmic dust, gravity forged stars. Gravity is the only power which connects star systems together in the vast galaxies in the earlier galaxy formation. Gravity is the creator of everything from stars to many mysterious things in the space. On the other hand, gravity is also the destroyer of everything. Because of the gravity, our earth was destroyed in a big bang, and then a new earth was made on which we are living today. Thanks to that gravity, our earth is a habitable planet, otherwise life don't cease to exist. Let's say you are on a camping trip and you looked at the sky watching those bright dots and constellations. Have you ever wondered, is there anything beyond these bright dots? Space might look empty, but it isn't. It is filled with stars, planets, nebulas, comets, quasars, and many more. However, something is lurking around this space where gravity acts as a destroyer. You can't ignore it, neither you want to get close to it. The mysterious object is called a black hole. As you can see, the mystery is in its name. To this date, we have so many theories related to the black hole, but unfortunately, they all are theories.
There is no doubt that black holes are one of the strangest things that exist in many galaxies, including one of our own. They don't make sense at all, but yet they still exist. I know you have so many questions exploding in your head, such as where do they come from? What happens if we fall into a black hole? Let's begin, shall we? We know stars run on mostly hydrogen atoms. These atoms collapses into their core because of the gravity and hence resulting in nuclear fusion. This fusion reaction will convert hydrogen into helium atoms, which will release a tremendous amount of energy. The power is in the form of radiation that pushes against gravity, maintaining a delicate balance between two forces. As long as the star doesn't run out of its fuel, it remains stable. But what if all the hydrogen atoms are converted into helium? They start to fuse into more heavier elements. The force of gravity is so high that the helium is collapsed into the core, which will create even heavier elements. Helium burns to carbon in millions of centuries. Carbon burns to neon in centuries. Neon to oxygen in a year. Oxygen to silicon in months. Silicon to iron in a day. Iron is the last, most substantial element that they reach. Iron does not generate any energy. When a star reaches the iron level, the balance between the radiation and gravity is broken, and then the star finally dies. Dying of star isn't something ordinary, and it takes a long process. When all the mass is converted into iron, the core collapses because of the unbalancing force between radiation and gravity, and within a fraction of seconds, the star implodes. When the star dies, it releases a tremendous amount of energy, which we call supernova explosion.
The supernova explosion can be visible even in the day on Earth. You don't need a telescope to view that supernova explosion. You can see it with your eyes as well. Currently, a star named Betelgeuse, which is near to our solar system and it can fill 100 suns inside, is near to its death. However, it still has million years to go, so if you live up to million years, you might be able to see the supernova explosion from Earth if your eyes are working well. When supernova explosion occurs, this results in two things. Either the star will produce a neutron star, or if the star is massive enough, the entire mass of core collapses into black hole. That is how black holes are created. However, not only stars create black holes, but neutron stars also play a vital role in creating a black hole.
When a neutron star's gravitational field comes in contact with another neutron star's gravitational field, they both start to orbit each other. We call them binary stars. They will keep circling each other as if a dog is chasing its tail. However, in the case of the neutron star, the speed of orbiting is high. Hence, they start to lose their energy. It means that after every cycle, they come closer and closer until they meet each other. At that moment, the speed will be maximum and both stars collide into each other, which will cause kilonova explosion. After the kilonova explosion, the mass of both neutron stars merge and it will result in a black hole. Alright, so if you look at a black hole, what you will be really seeing is the event horizon. And if anything that wants to cross the event horizon needs to travel faster than the speed of light to escape. In simple words, it is impossible. However, there is one theory that will allow us to move even faster than the speed of light. We call it the Dyson sphere theory. With this theory, we can even move faster than the speed of light. But that is a long story. Let's just concentrate on black holes for now. When you look at the black hole, all you can see is the black sphere that is reflecting absolutely nothing. The thing is, that is the event horizon and it is the black part. But what is the whole part of the black hole? That is singularity. We know that the total mass concentrates at the center of the object and the black hole is no exception. The singularity is the part where all the mass lies. However, scientists are not sure what it is exactly. The mass has no surface or volume, or it can be completely different, but all points leads to one thing. We don't know what is it. It is like dividing by a zero error.
Many people have this misconception that black holes suck everything up like a vacuum cleaner. However, this isn't the case. If we replace the sun with a black hole, then nothing will change except we will freeze to death. Okay, so the most common question that you will have been waiting for is what happens if you fall into a black hole? The experience of time is different around black holes. From the outside, you seem to slow down as you approach the event horizon, so time passes slower for you. For someone who is expecting you and you will appear to freeze in time, then you will start to turn red slowly and in the end you will disappear. From your perspective, you get to watch the rest of the universe in fast forward, and it will be like seeing into future. What happens next is we don't know. However, there are two theories. One, who you die in a quick death. A black hole curves space so much that when you try to cross the event horizon, you will go in only one direction. Imagine yourself swimming in a waterfall. When you reach almost at the end of waterfall, no matters if you try to swim in the opposite direction, you will still fall into waterfall. Black hole works the same. Once you enter the event horizon, you go in one direction, which is to singularity. At some point, even small distances of few centimeters will mean that gravity acts with millions of times more force on different parts of your body. Your cells get torn apart as your body stretches more and more until you become a hot stream of plasma, and then your atom tear apart.
The second possibility is that you die instantly. When you get near to the event horizon, You will hit a firewall, and after a few nanoseconds, you will be terminated. Actually, the mass of the black hole also matters in how quickly you will die. A small black hole will kill you instantly before you enter its event horizon. On the other hand, you can travel inside a supermassive black hole for some while. In a nutshell, as long as you are away from the singularity, the longer you live. Let's categorize black holes. There were two types of black holes. However, after a long research, scientists found that it is necessary to categorize black holes in four types. They are stellar, intermediate, supermassive, and miniature. The smaller one is the miniature. These black holes are near to their death and have a petite size. Let's say the size of a town. The next one is the stellar black hole, having a mass of more than 10 suns, but their size is less than the size of the moon. Intermediate black hole mass ranging from 10 raised to the power 2 to 10 raised to the power 5 solar masses with an average size of 100,000 kilometers. One solar mass is equivalent to 1.9 10 raised to the power 30 kilograms. Last but not least, as the name tells you, that supermassive black holes are the most prominent black holes in the observable universe. In fact, you will find at least one supermassive black hole in every galaxy. Even the Milky Way has its own supermassive black hole in the center, which is causing this galaxy to spin clockwise. The name of the Milky Way supermassive black hole is Sagittarius A star, which is almost 26,000 light years away from our solar system. The mass of the Sagittarius A star is around 2.6 million solar masses with a diameter of 22 km.
No matter how powerful the black holes are, they will die one day because of Hawking radiation. So, what is Hawking radiation? To understand this phenomenon, let's go back to the empty space again. Well, it is not entirely empty because it is filled with virtual particles popping into existence and annihilating each other. To make it simple, imagine a positive charge and a negative charge coming into existence and then instantly destroy each other. On the edge of the black hole, when one of the virtual particles will be drawn into the black hole and the other will escape and becoming a real particle. This is how black hole loses its energy. This happens incredibly slowly at the start, but when the black hole becomes smaller, it gets faster and faster every second. When it arrives at the mass of an asteroid, it radiating at room temperature. When it has the mass of mountain, it radiates almost like the sun, and in the last second of its life, the black hole evaporates and explodes as if millions of nuclear bombs exploded at a time. Like I said before, this process is incredibly slowly, and when the smallest black hole that we know might take up to Google Earth to evaporate, at that time nobody will dare to witness it. The universe will have become uninhabitable long before that.
Now it is time for some frequently asked questions. So, can we create a black hole on Earth? Theoretically, yes. Practically, no. To create a black hole, you need to compress a huge amount of mass, let's say the mass of our solar system, to a small size, let's say the size of a Pluto. The question is, where will you get that mass? How will you get that much energy to compress it to the size of Pluto? That is why we can't make a black hole on Earth. What would happen if we somehow create a black hole of the size of a ball bearing on Earth? There are two possibilities. One is that you successfully created a black hole of the size of a ball bearing or pocket. It will start to eat everything that it is around. In a few seconds, it will take over the whole building where you were experimenting. In the few next minutes, it will take over the town where you were. After some time, it will take over the country, and from country to continent, and in the end, it will take over the whole world. And now, our Earth is a black hole.
Can we travel to the nearest black hole? Again, theoretically yes, practically no. With the help of Dyson sphere theory, we can move faster than the speed of light. It means that reaching to the closest black hole, which is 1000 light years away, won't be impossible. However, even with the Dyson sphere, it will take 100 to 150 years to reach the closest black hole. We don't know. For now, maybe in future we might invent something which moves even faster than Dyson sphere. Who knows what will happen if we somehow passed through the event horizon and we went into singularity. According to Einstein relativity theory, if we somehow went into the singularity, we will come out from a white hole and it will be alternative dimension where time runs backward. It can be a parallel universe as well. Again, there is no evidence of this theory and it is the weakest theory for now. Can we harness the energy of black hole? Of course, we can harness the energy of black hole, but you need to collect it first. Luckily, scientists have found a way to collect the energy of the black hole. But to get that energy, you need to travel to the black hole. Again, all points leading to one. What happens when black hole eats a star or other object? When it eats another object or stars, its size increases. Let's say a black hole is dying and you feed a star or a planet, its size will increases as well as its lifespan also increase. When black holes eat something, it creates volume into feed the mass and hence the size increases.
What if two black holes came into contact? They will start to orbit each other like neutron stars, and at the same moment losing energy after every cycle. When one black hole's event horizon comes in contact with another one, they both will merge to form a black hole and releasing a tremendous amount of energy like a supernova explosion. Yes, the size will be twice and the mass will be the sum of masses of both black holes. Can we learn something from a black hole? Well, we can learn everything about space. When a black hole eats something, it encodes the data on the event horizon. This means that black holes are storing information. The problem is that the data is encrypted on the event horizon. If we somehow went to the nearest black hole, decrypting that information will be a very difficult task. But if we decrypted that information, we can learn everything about space, from the formation of galaxies to life before the Big Bang. It will be like seeing in the past. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening and take care. Stay safe.